Hare Krishna. So continue. Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will start Canto 1, Chapter 4. Appearance of Sri Narada. Narad Muni is somebody very special to us because he is the second Acharya in our disciplic succession, son of Lord Brahma being the first Acharya who has received the knowledge directly from Krishna himself. So here we will hear about Narad Muni, who's the guru of Vyasadeva. So very, very exalted personality, amazing devotee of the Lord. And this chapter is dedicated about his appearance and how Srimad Bhagavatam came to be spoken and everything else. Chapter 1, Canto 1. Canto 1, Chapter 4, Text 1. Vyasa vacha iti bruvanam samsutya muni nam dirgha satrinam vridha kulapati sutam bhavarcha shaunako bravit. Vyasadeva said, on hearing Suta Goswami speak thus, Shaunaka Muni, who was the elderly, learned leader of all the rishis engaged in this prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Suta Goswami by addressing him as follows. In the meeting of the learned men, when there are congratulations or addresses for the speaker, the qualifications of the congratulator should be as follows. He must be the leader of the house and an elderly man. He must be vastly learned also. Sri Shaunaka Rishi had all these qualifications, and thus he stood up to congratulate Sri Suta Goswami when he expressed his desire to present Srimad Bhagavatam exactly as he heard it from Shukadev Goswami, and also realized it personally. Personal realization does not mean that one should, out of vanity, attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous Acharya. He must have full confidence in the previous Acharya, and at the same time, he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. The original purpose of the text must be maintained. Prabhupada puts it in italics. The original purpose of the text must be maintained, not purport, but purpose. Because there is a purpose behind every single text in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and everything. Often, Srila Prabhupada is criticized by people who are not from Sampradayas, who are just random Sanskrit scholars or just random people, who say that, oh, the text says such and such, but Prabhupada's purport talks about bhakti only. He keeps bringing back everything to bhakti. The reason why he does that is because the purpose behind everything is to bring people to Krishna bhakti. And Krishna says this particularly in chapter 15, text 15. Vedyascha sarver ahamevya vedya. Of all the Vedas, I am to be known. Vedyascha sarver aham evya vedya. The Vidya of the Vedas, the knowledge of the Vedas. Aham, Krishna says, I am to be known from the Vedas. That's the purpose of the Vedas. So if the Vedas distract you into worship sun god, you'll get good health. Worship Lord Shiva, you'll get a good husband. Worship Ganesha, all your obstacles will go away. Wonderful, they are true. But what for are you living your life? Are you living your life just to keep away obstacles, get a good husband, get a good wife? Or is there a purpose? And the purpose that has been given by Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita is to be known about him. So every purport Srila Prabhupada gives keeps going back to the purpose of why this verse is being spoken, right? So here also, Prabhupada in the purport is giving the context that the most senior person in Naimisharanya forest is congratulating the speaker of the Bhagavatam. That is the proper ethics and manner and etiquette and whatnot. It is important, the fact that, sorry, who's speaking? Sri Shaunaka Rishi. He has all these qualifications and he stood up to congratulate Suta Goswami, because Suta Goswami is going to speak of what he has heard from Shukadeva Goswami, and he's going to share his realization, right? So it is important to learn this, because the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining this, that when we speak about Krishna consciousness, it is important that we speak from our experience, our realization, not just book knowledge. Because if it is book knowledge, it is okay to a certain degree, but you will not be able to answer questions when somebody has a doubt. When you have realization, no matter what angle the question comes from, you should be able to answer. Otherwise, if you're not able to answer, you will find the answer and get the realization, right? So it is important, Gyan to Vigyan translation, right? Book knowledge to realized knowledge. Aha, I get it. This is how it works. Finally, it gets it. My head, finally, I understand it. So that is called realized knowledge. That is what we are going to hear is Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by Shukadeva Goswami, and realizations shared by Suta Goswami, and purport given by Srila Prabhupada, right? So we are getting, remember the beginning verses where we heard that a fruit, a mango of a tree tastes much better when it is touched by the beak of a parrot. So here, the tree is the Vedic knowledge. The ripened mango is Srimad Bhagavatam. It's touched by the beak of Shukadev Goswami. And that knowledge is being further simplified or given more sweetness by Sutta Goswami, and that is further explained by Srila Prabhupada. So because we are born in Kali Yuga and we are not as intelligent, we don't understand things very, very well, because we don't have a Vedic Gurukul system. We are not acquainted with all the Vedic literatures. We need all the help we can get. Thus, we see here the design, how we are given Bhagavatam is, we are getting multiple help from the acharyas who have heard it, understood it, and they're sharing their realization. Galitam Phalam, yes. Aparna, since you're here, would you kindly read the next verse? 142.
Hare Krishna. Shaunaka Uvacha Suta Mahabhaga Vadano Vadatam Katham Bhagavatim Punyam Yat Ah Bhagavan Chukah. Shaunaka said, O Suta Goswami, you are the most fortunate and respected of all those who can speak and recite. Please relate the pious message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by the great and powerful sage Sukadeva Goswami. Hare Krishna.
Next verse.
4.3 Kasmin yuge pravrityam sthane vakena hetuna kutah sanchoditah Krishna kritavan samhita muniha. In what period and at what place was this first begun, and why was this taken up? From where did Krishna from
Krishna
where did
Dvaipekavyas.
Krishna Payana
Payanavyas.
Thank you. Vyasa, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature?
So there are many Vyasadev out, many Vyasadevs are there. This particular, because Vyasa is a position, right? So this Vyasa is known as Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas. Just like Surya Dev, there are many Surya Devs, there are many Brahmas. This Surya Dev has the name Vivaswan. Manu is a position. Manu has many names, right? Ikshvaku dynasty, we say, etc. So like that, Ikshvaku Manu. I'm getting bad with names these days. Forgive me, but you get the point that Vyasa is a position and Dvaipayana Vyasa is the name. Uh, so questions are being asked by the elders of Suta Goswami that tell us about the period, what place was it spoken, you know, etc., etc. The details and the details.
Four,
Go ahead.
4.4. तस्य पुत्रो महायोगी समदृन्निर्विकल्पकः एकान्तमतिरुन्निद्रो गुधो मूढा इव yate. His Vyasadeva's son was a great devotee and equivalenced monist whose mind was always concentrated in monism. He was transcendental to mundane activities, but being unexposed, he appeared like an ignorant person.
So Vyasadev's son was a great devotee. So Shukadeva Goswami is Vyasadev's son. And equibalanced monist, equibalanced personality, whose mind was always concentrated in monism. That means one God, believing in one God. People say we are polytheistic, we are actually monotheistic, right? So for Shukadeva Goswami, there is nothing other than Vasudev Krishna. That's all he breathes, and that's all he thinks, that's all he is all about, is Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So he's a perfect person to describe Krishna's glory, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's divine incarnations and everything. He was transcendental to mundane activities, but being exposed, he appeared like an ignorant person. What that means is, so he was completely, so nothing materialistic. So that's why you see Shukadeva Goswami not even wearing clothes, nothing materialistic about him. He's different skin color, is a whole different personality. So his glory is going to be spoken as we go through this. More is going to come. Yes, go ahead.
4.5. दृष्ट्वानुयान्तं ऋषिं नात्मजम् अप्यङ्गम् देवह्रिया परितदुर्नासुतस्य चित्रम् तद्वीक्षया पृच्छति मुनौ जगदुस्तवास्ति स्त्रीपम्भिता न तु सुतस्य विविक्तदृष्टे. While Sri Vyasadeva was following his sons, beautiful young damsels who were bathing naked covered their bodies with cloth, although Sri Vyasadeva himself was not naked, but they had not done so when his son had passed. The sage inquired about this, and the young ladies replied that his son was purified, and when looking at them, made no distinction between male and female, but the sage made such distinctions.
Imagine not having the bodily conception of life, right? So I had narrated this to you earlier that Vyasadev's son, Shukadeva Goswami, as soon as he was born, first of all, he didn't come out of his mother's womb for the longest time. He didn't want to deal with the material world. But when he came out, he was a grown, adult, good-looking, well-built man. Came out of his mother's womb, naked, of course, right? And he immediately took sannyas. He left home. And as he's going and Vyasadeva is running after him, Vyasadeva is wearing clothes and seeing him, the damsels, the ladies who are bathing, covered themselves, and seeing Shukadeva Goswami, they didn't feel any shame, because his, his stature was such, it was very clear he doesn't have a bodily conception of life. He doesn't see man, woman. He sees souls. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he started this movement, who did he have to start this movement? It was basically drug dealers, drug addicts, people who are hippies, who lived on the streets, who were mentally half insane, all kinds of uneducated folks, all the lowest rung of society. Of course, there were people who were educated and uh, coming from wealthy backgrounds and everything also, but that was later. Initially, the movement started with the lowest, the craziest, the most obnoxious of people, one of whom tried to even kill Prabhupada with a knife when he was intoxicated. He didn't know, he just felt like this man is whatever. And that was Prabhupada's roommate. Imagine that. So Prabhupada didn't see their offenses. Prabhupada didn't see their disheveled hair like mine. Prabhupada didn't see their exteriors. Prabhupada didn't smell their bad breath of alcohol. Prabhupada only saw the soul, the pure devotee that's within. And he gave everyone the opportunity to become Krishna conscious, right? That's a pure devotee who doesn't see man, woman, animal. He sees, here is a soul, part and parcel of Krishna. Let me try to give Krishna to him. So when such a person, you're in such a person's presence, you are very clear, you know it, that this person is non-judgmental. You can open up to such a person, right? And there are people who judge you, and you know it, and you can't open up to them. You can't trust them. You can't accept them for giving you advice, because they're judging you, they're thinking something about you. So, and women are better than men. Women can have better intuition, better understanding of body language and everything. So when Vyasadeva was very surprised that, because he's a senior citizen, he's an old man, and and these are young women. Why are they feeling ashamed in front of him and not his son, who's a young man, and it is adolescence, adulthood, and that's that, right? He is beyond the modes of nature, beyond the bodily conception of life, which is something we might not be able to understand at this point, because we are not there yet. But we can intellectually appreciate that, this is how Shukadeva Goswami was. This is how wonderful pure devotees are. They don't see man, woman. They don't see bodily differences. They see the soul within. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, text 18, it is said that a learned sage looks equally on a learned and gentle Brahmana, a Chandala, dog eater, a dog, or a cow due to his spiritual vision. Srila Shukadev Goswami attained that stage. Thus, he did not see a male or a female. He saw all living entities in different dress. The ladies who were bathing could understand the mind of a man simply by studying his demeanor. Just by looking at a child, one can understand how innocent he is. Shukadeva Goswami was a young boy, 16 years old, and therefore all the parts of his body were developed. He was naked also, and so were the ladies. But because Shukadeva Goswami was transcendental to sex relations, he appeared very innocent. The ladies, by their special qualification, could sense this at once, and therefore they were not very concerned about him. But when his father passed, the ladies quickly dressed. The ladies were exactly like his children or grandchildren, yet they reacted to the presence of Vyasadeva according to the social custom, because Vyasadeva played the part of a householder. A householder has to distinguish between a male and a female, otherwise he cannot be a householder. One should therefore attempt to know the distinction between body and soul without any attachment for male and female. As long as such distinction is there, one should not try to become a sannyasi like Shukadeva Goswami. At least theoretically, one must be convinced that a living entity is neither male nor female. The outward dress is made of matter by material nature to attract the opposite sex, and thus keep one entangled in material existence. A liberated soul is above the perverted distinctions. He does not distinguish between one living entity, non-living being, and another. For him, they are all one and the same spirit. The perfection of this spiritual vision is the liberated sage, and Srila Sukadev Goswami attained that stage. Srila Vyasadeva was also in the transcendental stage, but because he was in the householder life, he did not pretend to be a liberated soul as a matter of custom. Any questions on this? Distinction between man, woman? Okay.
4.6 Katham alaksita pari sampraptah guru jangalam unmattamoka jadavan vicharan gaja sahaven. How was he, Srila Sukadeva, the son of Vyasa, recognized by the citizens when he entered the city of Hastinapur, now Delhi, after wandering in the provinces of Kuru and Jangala, appearing like a madman, dumb and retarded? Dumb and retarded?
Appearing like, what kind of people doesn't wear clothes, right? Walking around. So just like Bharat Maharaj, when he became Jara Bharat, he also appeared dumb and retarded, where King Rahugana asked him to carry, or he was asked by King Rahugana's servants to carry the palanquin. And he was considered dumb and retarded till the king came out and wanted to punish him. When the king realized, oh my God, he's a pure devotee of the Lord. He's extremely learned, scholarly, right? So absolutely purest of pure people and drug addicts and retards sometimes can look the same. I was when I was in Vrindavan during our December trip, I went the night before because it was my birthday and I had the desire to do a little parikrama. So as I was doing parikrama near not Ter Kadamba, what is that place called? Imlitala. Near Imlitala, there is a banyan tree and there is a sadhu with matted hair. Everybody in Vrindavan is a sadhu. Some are fake, some are real. You don't know, and you don't want to make distinction. Also, everybody is worshipable there. So the brahmachari who was with me, walking with me at night, he was telling me that this sadhu has taken kshetra sannyas to the tree. He lives under this tree. He meditates under this tree. He sleeps under this tree, and only for like taking a bath, he'll go to Mother Yamuna and come back. And that tree is where he is dedicated his life to. Now, a person walking by would not understand the depth of this person. It's like there's a beggar under a tree. That's all we get. But then when you hear this, that this person has taken Kshetra Sannyas for decades and decades and decades, he's under the tree, and we don't even know what the tree is. It's so special that he took Kshetra Sannyas. We don't know. So often it looks like, just another person, just another beggar. The same way, Shukadeva Goswami, although great personality, was seemingly like a madman, right? Walking without clothes, very innocent. He's a child. He's literally like not seen the world. Recognized by the citizens when entered the city of Hastinapura, now Delhi, after wandering in the province of Kuru and Jangala. Maybe the word jungle came from here. I don't know. I'm just speculating, not in the scriptures. Appearing like a madman, dumb and retarded. All right. 4.7. More questions?
4.7 कथां वा पाण्डवेयस्य राजर्षि मुनिना सह संवादः समभूतात यत्र सा सात्वती स्तुत्यः. How did it so happen that King Parikshit met this great sage, making it possible for this great transcendental essence of the Vedas, Bhagavatam, to be sung to him?
So
Four
these
point
questions
eight.
will be answered in the coming verses, upcoming verses.
Sagodohana matram hi grihishu grihamidhinam aviksate mahabharans tirthi kurvamstad ashramam. He, Sukadeva Goswami, who was accustomed to stay at the door of a householder only long enough for a cow to be milked, and he did this just to sanctify the residence.
So a sannyasi does not stay in one place for too long because they're detached. They're not supposed to be attached to anyone or anything. So Shukadeva Goswami was a person who would stay at a householder's place as long as a cow uh, it takes to get milked. I don't know how much time that is, 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever. And he did this just to sanctify the residence because, when you have a sannyasi or a pure devotee or a great devotee come to your house, it sanctifies your residence. All the negative things go away. Like after my spiritual master came to my home, all the paranormal activities, ghost activities that were happening stopped permanently. Touch wood, right? Just by his presence. So, when people buy a new home, they say, oh, we should do, what is it called? Um, Housewarming ceremony in Vedic context. Griha Pravesh, right? Griha Pravesh. So in Vedic system, in our system, we don't do any Griha Pravesh. It is basically we invite a great sadhu, we do Harinam Sankirtan, we eat prasadam, glorify Krishna from Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, done Griha Pravesh over. So if any of you invite an ISKCON devotee, that's what you're going to get. There is no fire this. Of course, that can be also done. Many people prefer, fire sacrifice and all that. But those Vedic rituals are more for karma kandis. But for devotees, all we need is a dust from the lotus feet of the devotee, Krishna's holy name being chanted, and Krishna prasadam in the form of flower, in the form of Krishna's food, etc., etc. And the place is sanctified. All negativities, all vastu issues, everything will be, all ghosts, all gone. Yes, Prabhu. Pradeep Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Vasudevi is also an incarnation of Krishna, right?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Vyasadeva is also incarnation of
Shaktivesh
Krishna.
avatar.
Shaktivesh avatar, yes.
Yes. He's a jiva
Okay.
who's empowered by Krishna.
Empowered by Krishna.
Yes.
And Sukadeva Goswami is his son.
Is a son.
And he speaks Bhagavatam and Vyasadeva writes it down.
He speaks Bhagavatam and Suta Goswami narrates it. And
Yes.
Vyasadeva also compiles it because the Bhagavatam is actually much longer than the 18,000 verses we have. It is, we'll hear about this, it's several lakh verses which are accessible in the heavenly planets. On Earth's planet, we have been only given 18,000 verses by Vyasadeva because he compiled it that way. Ganesha wrote it down.
Ganesha wrote Bhagavad Gita.
Entire
right?
Vedas and everything written personally by Ganesha.
Ganesha.
Is my understanding. That's
Okay.
my understanding. And Vyasadeva is the one who compiled it. He spoke it to Ganesha and Ganesha wrote it down. That part,
So,
I don't know if it is, my understanding is that is true. It might be that Vyasadeva himself wrote it down, but I don't know. There is a
Okay.
question mark there.
but Sukadeva Goswami is his son and he
Yes.
is not Shaktivesh avatar. But
He's not
still,
Shaktivesh avatar. He's actually the incarnation of parrot of Krishna. Is Krishna
Yeah.
or Radharani's pet.
Right.
That is why he has direct access.
Right. So that's why he has this position.
So again, no bodily conception. Generally, father is higher than the son.
Yes.
But you will see many times in Bhagavatam and other places where son is higher than the father because spiritually higher.
Yes.
Kapil Muni is speaking to his mother Devahuti. She sits on the floor. He's sitting on the throne because he's the incarnation of the Lord, Shaktivesh avatar of the Lord, speaking about spiritual subject matter. So whenever it happened, like Krishna, right? When he speaks to Kunti Devi is his aunt. But the way she speaks, Krishna's here, she's here. So spiritual qualification is seen in these contexts.
But even in this case, spiritual qualification of Vyasdev is higher, right? Because he is empowered Shaktivesh avatar. But
He is
still
empowered.
he is listening.
He is
Yes.
empowered. But there is nothing wrong for empowered Shaktivesh avatar to take knowledge from a pure source, compile it, and put it in a form that Kali Yuga people can understand it.
All right.
So, and we'll hear more about it. Why Vyasadeva does it. That's what this chapter is about. Narad Muni comes and tells him there's a particular reason for it. So we'll hear about it.
Oh.
But good, you brought up a very interesting point, and often this controversy might be seen where the son is at a higher level than a father, or a disciple is considered. Like when we went to Vrindavan, you remember we went to Shamsundar temple and we talked about that devotee Dukhi Krishna Das who became Shamananda
Yes.
Pandit, initiated by Radharani.
Right.
So although his guru, but Radharani comes and tells him, you're very fortunate to have such an exalted disciple. So it is not being spoken, but we understand the disciple is initiated by Radharani herself. How exalted must he be? That doesn't diminish the guru. But there is no, in spiritual life, there is no comparison. Oh, you're bigger than me, right? I'm smaller. Everybody's thinking I'm smaller than you only. Guru also thinks, wow, my disciples are so advanced. Srila Prabhupada would pay obeisances to his disciples. You guys are doing such amazing job. I'm not able to do, I'm an old man. But you're distributing books, you're starting temples. My obeisances at your lotus feet. That's how he would think. Now, he would also chastise them and correct them. But that's in spiritual life, that's the qualification. We think ourselves lower than others. So there is no comparison. Oh, he's my son. How dare he? Why should I? There's no ego aspect. Ki isse kyun sune? Spiritually, he is exalted. So yeah, all for it. Wherever I can get Krishna Katha, it is said that if you find gold from any place, you should take it. Whether it's found in dirty water or it's found in a gold mine or it's found somewhere else. Gold is gold. Just clean it up, it's gold. So if Krishna's wisdom is coming from his son, so be it. If it's coming from somebody else, you'll hear Canto 7, Bhagavatam spoken by Hiranyakashipu. When Hiranyaksha dies, Hiranyaksha's wife is crying, becoming a new widow. Now Hiranyakashipu comes and tells her, you're not this body, spirit, soul. Entire Bhagavad Gita like verses are being spoken by a demon. And you're wondering, is he a demon or is he a devotee? Right? So even demons were so elevated to think about it in Vedic knowledge. But there is the sense of ego, not Krishna. And that's what makes him a demon.
Right.
Although the knowledge is fully there, much better than most of us.
Right, Rosh.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Praveen Prabhu?
Prabhuji, you made a very interesting point, the distinction between a demon and a, and Devata. Matlab it's both are spiritually elevated, just like Hiranyakashipu and
Not all
other
demons are
devatas.
spiritually
But
elevated.
it's only the
Hiranyakashipu was spiritually, not spiritually elevated, well educated rather in Vedic wisdom, just like Ravana. Ravana was extremely well educated in Vedic wisdom. He was a Brahmana, but he was anti-God. How unfortunate.
okay.
So that's what happens, right? There are people who have PhDs in Sanskrit and Vedic literatures from Oxford and Harvard, and they're completely atheistic. They consider Srimad Bhagavatam a book of fiction, Mahabharat just somebody's imagination. Although they have knowledge, you tell them to quote Bhagavad Gita, they'll quote you left, right, and center. But their understanding is skewed. And this is why Krishna calls it confidential knowledge. This is why chapter 9 is called confidential knowledge. Why? Even though you can be a scholar, still you can't understand, and you still can be an atheist, and you still don't come to the conclusion Arjun came to.
Okay. I mean, despite knowing the entire Bhagavatam and all those things, but he's still not able to understand the.
I'm going to say something controversial.
Okay.
One time, my mentor and I, we were at a certain place. They were celebrating Swami Vivekananda's appearance day, birthday, youth day. And this lady came up and said, I've read the Bhagavatam. And she showed her Bhagavatam. It was this thick, one book, this book. And she was like, this the Bhagavatam. And that was a Ramakrishna Mission version of Bhagavatam. And when she saw our version, literally 18 volumes, 18,000 verses, right? It takes so many years to finish Srimad Bhagavatam. She was appalled. Like, how come? So there's a huge difference. The same Bhagavatam verses, the way it is spoken, the way it is understood, how a devotee sees it, how a non-devotee sees it, it's confidential knowledge. You can't access it by studying it. You need to access it through the disciplic succession. And that is where the Guru Shishya Parampara comes in. Otherwise, it remains a mystery. It feels contradictive. It feels like you get lost somewhere else. Fifth canto, you get lost, universal structure and everything else, right? Most people can't go beyond fifth canto. Most people who study the Bhagavatam can't go beyond fifth canto because it is meant that way. It's right midway there. So much details are given about the universe, mind gets boggled, and sometimes it doesn't match with modern science. And they're like, Bhagavatam is not true. And you move on, right? But then 6, 7 cantos, they're like Narsingadev and all these things you get to hear, Lord Ramachandra, and wonderful things start. Lord's pastime start right after that. So that's the Lord's way of keeping away the insincere folks. Anyway, I'm getting distracted myself. All right. You have any follow-up questions, Praveen Prabhu?
Prabhu. So you mean to say Hiranyakashipu has got this knowledge from not
sorry.
a qualified.
What?
Hello, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes.
So you mean to say, Prabhu, that Hiranyakashipu has got this Bhagavatam knowledge?
Not Bhagavatam knowledge. So he was in Satya Yoga, right? So there were no books, but knowledge was well known. Everybody went to Gurukul. Everybody was well educated in Vedic sciences, especially those who are from kingly families, great princely families. They had access to great education. So the Vedic knowledge was known to people like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, and all of that, right? But there was also envy in the heart, which made them the way they did.
Largely envy and the the application of it, basically, Prabhu. In their own
Disposition of the heart was envious towards Krishna. For example, Hiranyakshipu, why did he have to be killed? So Hiranyakashipu's whole thing was, you kill my brother. But why was Hiranyaksha killed? Because he took the Earth planet and put her outside the orbit. He was messing with the Lord's creation. He was demoniac by nature. He was a ruckus. Local thugs do these things, right? If they throw stones at people's houses, they will play cricket, and the ball will. These are small thugs. This fellow was a big thug. So he was taking the whole planet only and moving it from its orbit down to the waters, the amniotic fluid. The point is, he did something wrong. He was punished. And he fought. He could have asked for forgiveness. He didn't. He fought. And of course, who's going to win? The Lord will win. So Hiranyakashipu considered him, you kill my brother, not you. I'm going to take revenge. I'm going to kill you. Like, you can't kill God, but somehow he thought that. So knowledge is there, realization isn't there.
Sure.
Even Zakir Naik can speak a lot of Vedic texts. The fellow is a crook,
Yeah.
right? Even his stupid doctor, he's not even a real doctor. Half the verses he quotes are not even real. You go back and you check the references, not true. He's a absolute crook. But look at him quoting all these verses, and he speaks very fast so nobody can catch it. And why is he studying these verses? Is he studying them to know God, to love God? No. Studying those verses so that he can do his demoniac activity. That's what he's doing this. So, we are Krishna conscious. Imagine Kamsa, how Krishna conscious he was. He couldn't drink properly. He would see Krishna in the water. He would see Krishna, Krishna, Krishna everywhere. He was fearful of his life. Krishna will kill me. Krishna will kill me. All the time he was going to all the new demons. Come, kill Krishna before he kills me. He was thinking about Krishna morning till night. He was so Krishna conscious. Shishupal, he was hearing the name of Krishna. He would not stop able to think about Krishna. But in a negative way. That's what makes them demons. And you would think that was past yugas. Trust me when I say it, I have met people who are like that. They're so anti-Krishna. One of my best friends, close friends, one day just walked in, came for dinner, and he started talking so much negativity about Krishna, that he has read this book and that book, and Krishna has this and Krishna does that, and he doesn't have character, and he goes on, and I'm like, hey, look, let's not talk religion. You've come for dinner. Let's have dinner. Let's be friends. But let's not go in that direction. If you're willing to go in the direction, don't be disrespectful. Let's try to have a dialogue. I'm happy to talk. It's like, went on blasting Krishna. And then before I was like, please leave my home. I actually kicked him out of my home without feeding him. Like, I don't want to hear this. Leave. I never saw his face again. And, karma would have it. That fellow is mentally retarded. He's gone completely. Probably he was crazy. That's why he was speaking like that. But at that time, he was supposed to be a very good student and, with all degrees from University of Chicago and wonderful things. But talking like that. And now he's nowhere. So it's wrong for us to hear blasphemy about Krishna, right? And the Vedas are very strict. I'll pause the recording for a second. All right. Any other questions? I hope there's nobody here for the
Prabhuji.
first time.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
even when you said Kamsa was saying Krishna in everything, right? So in a way, he was reciting Krishna name.
Yes, that's why he got killed by Krishna. He had the great fortune of dying in the hands of Krishna and seeing his lotus face while dying. Great fortune.
Great fortune or
Great fortune to be killed by Krishna, right? Because the kind of things he has done, he should be rotting in hell. But constantly thinking of Krishna, even though negatively, that gave him the great fortune to be liberated to Brahmajyoti by being killed by Krishna himself.
Okay.
All the demons who came to Krishna, they were thinking about Krishna. Matra Sparshasta Kwante Shita Ushna Sukha Dukhada, right? So these personalities, they're planning, and their senses, their mind, their intelligence, everything was focused. Krishna, 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 Krishna. How to kill him? That purified them, qualified them to be. But Brahmajyoti, that's it. They can't go beyond. Only Putana got access to Krishna Loka. Because for a second, she had a thought, oh, how cute. What a beautiful boy. And she breastfed. So it's like a service. Although breast is filled with poison, still Krishna saw it that way, that, oh, she breastfed me. So let me give her the position of a mother. Other than that, all the demons are in Brahmajyoti. So Brahmavadis can be there, but as devotees, we have no plans of going to Brahmajyoti. We want to go beyond that. All right. Can we say, Prabhuji, that they could not convert the knowledge to realize knowledge? I don't know if the word could not is the right word. I think the disposition of the heart, the envy in the heart did not let them see things as it is. If you, again, going back to chapter 5, text 18, a humble sage with true vision sees with, a humble sage sees with equal vision, right? To see things as it is, one has to be a humble and sage-like. These two are qualifications. If you're proud, you can't see things as it is. So could he have done it? There is qualification, there is intelligence, there is every opportunity, but they didn't. Now you might say, oh, he didn't have access to a guru. Well, Shukracharya is guru for all the demons. He was guru for Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj became a pure devotee. Vamadev, he asked for 3 pieces of land. Bali Maharaj gave him everything he wanted. Entire creation, entire universe was given in charity. Even though Shukracharya was there, he didn't listen to him. So it's our choices. It's our disposition. And pride doesn't allow us to make the right choices. It's intoxication. So to answer your question, could he have done it? Yes. But when you're blinded by pride, you are not able to see things as it is. You're not able to get guidance as it is. Even the guidance might be available to you. Does it answer your question? Chandrima?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. A follow-up question, Prabhuji. You said Kansa and all the demons went to Brahma Jyoti. But as we already know that Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu and all that were the incarnations of Jay and Vijay. So so after they were cursed for 3 lifetimes, right? So after that, did they go back to Vaikunt, or they still remained in Brahma Jyoti?
No. After they left the demoniac tendencies, they came as Jagai and Madhai. They got Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they got Gopi Bhav, and they are back home, back to Godhead.
Okay. So until those 3 incarnations, they were in Brahma Jyoti.
I don't know.
Okay.
If they were in Brahma Jyoti or they were taking birth immediately after or what. But the understanding is when Krishna was killing them, they were merging in Krishna's body. So Brahma Jyoti is nothing but Krishna's effulgence, right?
Yes.
So they were merging into Krishna's body. That's the way it works. But then you also fall down from Brahma Jyoti. So it must have been something of that sort. But again, I don't have scriptural. If you ask me where in the scripture it says, I can't point you to it. But my understanding is Krishna kills them. They get merged with Brahma Jyoti. They fall down and they try their next option, next yuga, something. And then finally, after Jagai Madhe, fully gone back.
Understood. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anything else? Okay. Akshat. How many lifetimes it will take to go back to Godhead? Is it karma dependent? Absolutely not. It will take you a moment to go back to Godhead. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 66. Just surrender unto Krishna. Instantly, all papa gone. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Aham tam sarva papebhyo. All papa, sarva papebhyo. He'll take away. Moksha shami. I'll give you liberation. Don't worry. So it takes fraction of a second. But since we are not very sincere, or we are trying to be sincere, we are Kali Yuga folks, it takes us a lot of effort. So it might take this lifetime at least, right? And hopefully by the end of this lifetime, Krishna is helping. We are not on our own. He's not stone. He's helping us, walking us through. He'll detach us from things that stop us from going close to him if we are sincere in walking in that path, right? If we become insincere, still there is chance, no problem. Anytime we can become sincere and go back to the path of bhakti. And many, many devotees have done that. It is natural to fall down, but don't stay there. Try again, try again, try again. But yeah, this lifetime is enough. We don't have to take many, many lifetimes. We are very fortunate. I hope that answers your question, Akshat. If you have any further questions, you can ask.
Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna. It's not karma dependent. Karma is materialistic. In fact, all karma is getting burnt by Krishna when we come to the bhakti path. So it is not who you are, where you're born, skin color, past karma, you're a murderer, you're a rapist, it doesn't matter. I know that sounds controversial. What, a rapist? Yeah, yes. The person who said mara, 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 right? The person who wrote the Ramayana, the great Valmiki, he was a murderer. He was a robber. He was a criminal. Such a great person, transformed. So what to speak of us? We all have hope. One lifetime is enough. Krishna's holy name is very powerful. Okay. Next verse.
4.9. Abhimanyu sutam suta prahur bhagavato prahur bhagavatotamam tasya janma mahascharya karmani chagrinihinaha. It is said that Maharaja Parikshit is a great first-class devotee of the Lord and that his birth and activities are all wonderful. Please tell us about him.
So Maharaj Parikshit is, it mentions Abhimanyu Sutta. Anybody remembers who is Abhimanyu?
Arjuna's son.
Arjuna's son, who was killed by the Kauravas in the Chakravyuh.
Chakravyuh.
So at that time, Subhadra, or was it Subhadra?
Subhadra. Subhadra heard the story half only. Arjuna's wife.
Yeah, so
Krishna's
she was
sister.
pregnant with Parikshit Maharaj. And to kill Parikshit Maharaj, an atomic bomb, now it's targeted atomic bomb, Brahmastra was sent to destroy Parikshit Maharaj in the womb. And the Supreme Lord was requested by the mother, please save my son. And Krishna instantly appeared in the womb of, I think it's Uttara.
It's Uttara, Prabhuji.
It's Uttara, yeah, not
Uttara was
Subhadra.
wife of,
So, yes,
I thought Uttara was wife of Abhimanyu.
wife of?
Abhimanyu.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So Uttara was pregnant with Parikshit Maharaj. And they tried to kill Parikshit Maharaj with Brahmastra. And that's when Krishna appeared in the womb of Uttara and protected Parikshit Maharaj from getting burnt by the heat of the Brahmastra. So Parikshit Maharaj was blessed before even he was born. So he's a first-class devotee. And that Parikshit Maharaj is the one who is requesting Shukadeva Goswami to narrate about Krishna. So this is a setting that is coming into being. All right. So today we don't have enough time, but next day onwards, we'll hear about Parikshit Maharaj's glories, who he is, and how this whole thing kind of evolves. I want to ask all of you, can you very honestly tell me, is this getting boring? Is there something I can do to make it more interesting, or you are enjoying the slow pace of setting the stage for Srimad Bhagavatam to be spoken? Prayash is saying, yes, Hare Krishna.
It is not boring at all. It is just that very confusing, and because there are so many, so many, stories one within the other entangled.
Yes.
So I'm just, waiting to slowly, gradually go on listening, and probably gradually I'll understand it all.
Yes, it's my disqualification that it is getting a little, I'm not able to clearly narrate it. My apologies. Again, Bhagavatam for the first time. So please forgive me if I'm not able to do this. But as Shukadeva Goswami starts speaking, you will see the stories, but there'll be stories inside stories also. Shukadeva Goswami will talk about stories where somebody's telling a story to some king. This keeps happening. So it takes intelligence to understand the Vedic knowledge, but this is the simplest of what it gets. The Upanishads are far, far more complex. There's at least in story form. So don't feel like if you're not able to keep up with the complexities that you're missing out. Just pick up one or two things from every class. That's what I would say, because this is the first time we are all studying Bhagavatam. So just pick up one or two things and just try to apply that for the next 7 days. Then again, come on Friday, pick up one or two things and apply that for the next 7 days. I can promise you at least this much, that you will have some nuggets of Bhagavatam wisdom that you can pick up from a class, from the verses. And as long as you apply that, you're progressing and you're getting the blessing. The rest, Krishna will do the magic. Don't worry. All right.
Course, that is there. That is there. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.